Welcome, brave souls, to Shadows and Shivers, where the night whispers secrets and the shadows have stories to tell. Prepare yourself for tales that crawl under your skin and stay there. Dim the lights, settle in, and let the chilling journey begin. The bell tower at Ashcombe. In the village of Ashcombe, there was a bell tower that hadn't rung in decades. Locals avoided it. They said it was cursed, that anyone who climbed to the top never returned. Edward Faraday, a young architect from London, arrived one rainy afternoon. He had been hired to survey the tower for renovation. He dismissed the stories as superstition. "It's just a building," he told himself. The tower was imposing. Gray stone, ivy crawling up its sides. The entrance door was heavy and splintered. Edward pushed it open. Inside, the air smelled of dust and damp wood. A spiral staircase wound upward. Each step groaned under his weight. Cobwebs clung to the walls. Shadows moved where no light fell. Halfway up, he noticed carvings etched into the stone. Names, dates, some recent, some centuries old, and beside each, a short phrase, "Taken by the bell." Edward frowned. "Ridiculous," he muttered, but a chill ran down his spine. At midnight, he reached the top. The bell chamber loomed above him. The bell, enormous, hung silently. Dust swirled around it in the dim moonlight. And then he heard it. A faint chime, soft single, but it came from nowhere. The sound grew louder, echoing through the tower, through the village. The bell swung on its own, each strike reverberating in Edward's chest. A whisper followed the chime. "Edward, come closer." He stepped forward. The bell's shadow stretched across the chamber. He reached out, and the floor beneath him shifted. Suddenly, the bell rang again, but this time, the sound wasn't metal. It was screaming, human screaming, echoing from somewhere deep inside the tower. Edward spun around. The staircase had vanished. The walls twisted. The bell chamber stretched endlessly. From the shadows, figures emerged, tall, thin, cloaked in black, eyes hollow, faces hidden, and they whispered in unison, "Taken by the bell, join us." Edward tried to run, but the figures blocked every exit. They reached for him, their hands cold as ice. The bell rang again, a deafening crash, and the shadows swallowed him. Hours later, villagers approached the tower. The door was closed, silent, no sign of Edward Faraday. But sometimes when the wind howls through Ashcombe, people swear they hear a bell ringing. Slow, deliberate, and beneath the chime, a whisper calling your name. Join us forever. Now let us come to the next story. The cellar beneath Hawthorne Manor. On the outskirts of Devon stood Hawthorne Manor, a crumbling estate long abandoned. Its windows were boarded, the garden overgrown with weeds. Locals whispered that no one entered after sunset, and those who did never returned. Charlotte Reynolds, a young writer from Bristol, arrived at the manor with her notebook and camera. She wanted material for her latest book, a study of haunted houses in England. Her friends warned her. "Don't go near that place," they said. "People vanish there." "Something doesn't want you inside," Charlotte laughed nervously. "Haunted houses are just stories," she told herself. With flashlight in hand, she pushed open the rusted gate. The manor groaned as she stepped inside. Dust rose in clouds, cobwebs clung to every corner. The air smelled of mildew and decay. chill settled over her, and yet she pressed forward. The ground floor was empty. Old furniture lay in ruin. A grand staircase led upward, but what caught Charlotte's attention then was a narrow door beneath the stairs. A cellar. The door creaked as she opened it. Darkness greeted her. The flashlight illuminated stone steps spiraling down, a faint smell of damp earth and something else. Rotten. Charlotte descended, step by step. Each creak of the wood echoed like a warning. Halfway down, the light flickered, and then she heard it, a whisper. "Charlotte, come closer," her heart thumped. "Hello," she called, trying to mask her fear. No reply. Only the whisper again, soft, broken, echoing from the stone walls. The cellar widened into a low chamber. Shadows pooled in every corner. And in the center, a large wooden chest. It was old, bound in iron, and covered in strange carvings. Charlotte approached. She knelt, running her fingers over the carvings. A name was etched into the wood, Hawthorne. The chest creaked open. Inside, darkness deeper than the cellar itself. A cold wind blew upward, and a voice, low and trembling, whispered, "They're waiting for you." Charlotte stumbled back. The light flickered again, and then she saw them, figures rising from the shadows, tall, thin, featureless faces. Their hands reached for her. Whispers filled the room. "Stay. Stay forever." She bolted toward the stairs, but the cellar twisted. The walls stretched, elongating the passage. Each step forward felt like she was sinking into the stone. From the chest, a hand shot out. It grabbed her ankle, icy and firm. Charlotte screamed, kicking, clawing, but it held her tight. Suddenly, the whispers stopped. Silence. A shadow fell over her. A figure emerged, tall, dressed in tattered black robes, eyes glowing faintly in the dark. The old Hawthorne family crest gleamed on its chest. "You cannot leave," it said, voiced like gravel. "The cellar keeps those who come." Charlotte tried to push past. The walls closed in. The shadows multiplied. The chest slammed shut behind her, and the figure stepped closer. She raised her flashlight, swinging it desperately. The figure recoiled, but only slightly. It whispered again, "Forever." Charlotte ran blindly. The stairs seemed endless. The cellar twisted around her. Stone became earth, then roots, then something she could not recognize. Her breath came in ragged gasps. Her flashlight flickered. Finally, she reached the bottom of the stairs, or so she thought. The door opened into a room she had never seen before. Walls lined with hundreds of eyes, staring, watching, following. The figure appeared behind her, cold hands on her shoulders. And then the world went black. The next morning, locals found her notebook on the manor doorstep, pages filled with frantic writing. The cellar, it moves, it waits, it watches. Charlotte Reynolds was never seen again. But sometimes in Devon, hikers report whispers beneath the manor. Low, broken, calling names. Charlotte, stay forever. Thank you for venturing into the shadows with us tonight. If you dare to return, subscribe, and let more stories creep into your mind. Until next time, remember, the darkness is never as empty as it seems.